Hey everybody, it's Sabrina. So these are all the projects that you are going to see come together in this video. It's a total of 4. I think I mentioned this in my personal update video, but if I didn't, I kind of treated myself to the Allie Edwards Start Here scrapbook class that she just launched a little while ago. Kind of treated myself to that, and I have absolutely been loving the content and have felt so inspired to do all these different projects, and it's just making me so happy, and it's helping me to find time to create. So I'm excited to share all of these projects with you. Okay, so the first one is a very simple one. Allie Edwards was talking about how you can repeat designs of your own, or whatever you want to do. You can repeat designs, and there's nothing wrong with that. And this was actually a design I came up with for an April hiking page, and I just flipped it so that way the circles are on the other side. I think they're 1.75, and I just printed out the circles with very low opacity. That way I knew where the photos were going to go. And I'm just documenting a story about my son enjoying the water and how he's always loved the water. And I pulled the blues from the July Stories by the Month kit, and I blew up the huge photo of him that I absolutely love, and I've just never documented it, and I just love it. I love this photo, I love this story, and I absolutely love how this whole entire project came together. I love Allie Edwards' concept of just using full page photos. It's something that I do, but not often. And so right now I'm really embracing that. And as you can see, I had celebrating and the journaling, and then I just added a few puffy stickers and word phrase stickers, and that is really it. That was it. And it turned out to be a beautiful, beautiful project. So this next one is also about my son, and I just loved him in this outfit. He's really kind of embracing his own style with soccer jerseys and shoes that he loves, like Nikes, and I just loved the photo. And Allie was talking about spreading spreading photos across 2 pages, and so that's what I decided to do. And she also talked about making like a cluster trail, and I wanted to try that, and so I pulled all the reds and blacks, and I used a variety of different kits to get the different blacks and reds. So over on the left hand side, that is actually a tag from the Happy Story kit, and I just repeated it all the way down the left side. The Happy is from another story kit. I'm not sure which one. The Wow is from the Watch story kit. Same thing as Pay Attention. And I also made a few circles like Morning Delight. I just did a little light gray and used the digital stamp on top of it. And you'll see that in just a minute. I have a cluster on the left-hand side that says Celebrate All This Stuff. That started out as a 4x6 card, and then I just shrunk it down to fit in my 2x2 circle, and then just colored the circle the red color of the journaling card. Also found a fist bump, so I definitely wanted to include that. And I have some labels from the Open Story kit that I'm going to use to do some quick journaling about my son during this time. And looking back on this design, I could have probably done labels all the way down along with the cluster trail, but I decided, you know what, I didn't want to pull the focus away from the circles. So the amount of circles that I have worked perfectly. I just love how this came together. I'm telling you, this class has been so inspiring. I also took another piece of the happiness kit, and I took one of the circles and I made that kind of a background page. It says happiness and then it is curved, and I just incorporated that to be a part of the right-hand side paper and just printed it out. Above that, I have a digital stamp that says remember. I also die cut that twice, and that way that could be like another title piece as well. I made another stamped circle that says currently, and I just repeated it. So it is a little hard to tell with that red circle. It's kind of the second from the bottom, but it does say currently. And then I found a digital stamp in the You Story kit that says you are my fave. So I added that. I also went looking for some more embellishments. You just saw me do that. And I found some gray phrases. I think they're felt. No, not felt. I don't know what they are, but they say around here, and I've never used them, and I figured, you know what, I'll just use them. So I'm using 3 of them in this page. feeling brave, just gonna use them. And I also grabbed some like neutral gray chipboard. I don't know if it's chipboard that you can color or what it is, but I'm gonna use it as is, so that way that can be another dimensional aspect that I can add to the page. I am pop dotting some of the circles, so that way some are a little more dimensional than others. And this page was gonna actually be just a one-page project, but when I went to blow up the photo, everything was going to get too squished. So being able to spread it out onto 2 pages was the right idea. And I just love the different ideas that I came up with to use the different story kits, because I think there's like 5 different story kits that I wound up using in this project. And I'm just thrilled with how it came together. It's a perfect way to kind of play. So I mainly do like a lot of playing on my computer during the week, and then on the weekends I am able to scrapbook. So it's been fun to kind of look through my photos, see what stories have not been told, stories that I do want to tell, and just getting things documented. And yeah, I really love this class. Down at the bottom, I have "You Are My Fave," and I'm going to trim that off along with the happy circle up at the top. I also took some black asterisks and cut those out with my Cameo as well. I believe those are from the Watch Story Kit, but I knew that I didn't have any really in my stash, so having those would be another way to visually move around the spread. And I'll have those along with some word phrase stickers and the gray chipboard, and then yeah, lots of different pieces to bring this together, and it's looking fantastic. So I am going to finish up building the clusters and adding a few word phrase stickers, and then I can add in the journaling. So I added little phrase stickers like "You're so easy to love," "all the ways," "wholehearted," and then over on the left-hand side, I did "documenting" and "XOXO." So I have these labels and I can't get enough of them. Like I said, they're from the Open Story Kit and I've used them several times, and that's what I love about the story kits. Sometimes you can just find pieces that you are going to be able to use over and over again, which is these labels that I love them. So I built a really big cluster right above the "Remember," and I love how that turned out. I used double-sided adhesive to put the around here down onto the page, and I made them I did make them a triangle. So there's one on the bottom of the left-hand side, and then go to the top of the right and down in the bottom. So those, I'm so glad they finally, like I probably already said, have a home, because I did not know how to use those. So at least half of them are now used up. And once I have those done, I can go ahead and add in the little bits of journaling that I wanted to add about my son. I will say that as I started watching the lessons for this class, I looked through my phone and I kind of thought about stories that had not been told and saved those into a folder and just labeled it AE Allie Edwards class. So that way I knew that I had photos to reference if I wanted, or if I was inspired by one of her ideas in the lessons. Okay, so on the left-hand side, I put "You are looking so stylish. You love collecting and wearing soccer jerseys. You're also really getting into cool kicks." Probably totally sound like a mom writing that, but that is the truth. He just looks so cool and so handsome. And then up at the top, I put "You are 14 and finishing up 8th grade. The years have gone so quick, and now you are almost headed to high school. You're going to be heading to high school," which is still hard to believe. And now we're like a month into high school, and it's still hard to believe. And then I had "Morning Delight," so I used that as my jumping off point, as Allie Edwards says, and I said, "You aren't a morning person, but still give morning hugs and are the DJ on the way to school." So, love how this turned out. It's so fun, and I'm so glad to get some more kid stories documented. Next up is bath time, shower time. There's been lots of interesting stories over the years about bath time and shower time, and I'm sure you can relate. So I've been teaching my daughter how to shampoo her hair and condition it, and I often have to cook dinner, multitask, and this was one of those days. And I said, why don't you try to do your shampoo on your own, and I'll come back and I gotta check dinner and I'll come back. And I came back and this is how she looked. It was epic and amazing, and I had to take a photo. And so I decided to document it. And I have Unplanned Awesomeness. And I used the Unexpected Story Kit, that big transparency for Unplanned. Awesomeness is a digital alpha that I found, and then I just changed the color to the pink that's in the kit, and I was able to die cut that out. Same thing with another die cut that I'm going to have at the bottom that says, totally didn't see that coming. I'll put that right at the bottom of my daughter's photo. And then what I'm going to do is my design is going to be a 4x4 pocket to hold the journaling and also a couple extra photos. The Unexpected Story Kit came with these cards, like craft type cards that say this and that. So I'm going to use 2 of them to hold the journaling and just be something different to put together my page. And I'll have the extra photos behind it. The Unexpected Story Kit also has this really fun swirly pattern paper. So I'm going to punch out some 1.5-inch scallops, circles, and place those in different spots for the visual triangle. And I also put down my title for Awesomeness, and I kind of made sure that it was going to be as long as the Unplanned when I was putting it together in Photoshop Elements. So one of the punch circles is going to go in the bottom left corner on the left-hand side, and then another one up at the top. And then I die cut, totally didn't see that coming, twice, so that way it's a little more dimensional, and just put it down at the bottom. And like I mentioned earlier, it has the same pink color as Awesomeness. And so I love it. I love how this whole design came together. And it was so fun to be able to use up more pieces of the Unexpected Story Kit. That's one of the kits that I consider done, but I still have lots of pieces of it left. So it's fun to find another story to document using this kit. As you can see, there's the photos I just put in. I started out thinking that my embellishments were going to be some of the hearts that came in the kit, but the colors just really weren't matching, especially the green. So I think I'm going to change those out in a little bit. So I've got my this and that cards, and I am going to go ahead and draw lines because I prefer lines in my journaling. I also used a Sharpie pen, and that felt like the wrong pen to use because I needed to have time for it to dry. But that's okay. It worked out and nothing smeared, so that's good. I also have some clear word phrase stickers that I'm going to use on the project, and those also came in the story kit. So I'm using up this kit and loving it. So with the this and that card, I'm just going to document the story, and I needed to punch another circle for the right hand side because I wanted to tuck in a few circles like underneath the pocket. And I just took a 4x4 page protector that I had laying around, and I was able to trim off the holes and add the double-sided adhesive tape. So my story is that learning to clean your hair has been tricky and quite a long process. We're finally at the point where I let you try, and then I put in parentheses, yes, mom is big on getting out those tangles. And so I said on this night I was working on making dinner, and I told you to just start the shampoo while I go check on dinner, and I came back and this is how she looked. It was hilarious. I mean, she made a hair sculpture, basically. And that's what I said in the second card. I said, you had sculpted your hair into this wild mohawk. It was hilarious, and you were laughing. Soon I was laughing too, and I had to get some photos. You certainly scrubbed in the shampoo well. This is a small moment that made a big impact. Photos to remember it and joyous laughs. Love how you beat to your own drum even when scrubbing your hair. Because if you've been around my channel a while, you know my daughter is quite a free spirit and she will do her own darn thing no matter what. So that was her way of saying, oh yeah, Mom, I scrubbed my hair. Look, in my own way. And that was definitely fun to help her with the conditioner part later on. So once I have those all done, I'm going to kind of shake them so that way they're a little bit dry, and then also add a word phrase sticker to some of the other photos that I have of her in the shower being ridiculous. But now I'm so glad that I have this story documented, and having the large photo on the left-hand side definitely makes a huge visual impact. And I love the 4x4 pocket. I love doing that. I tend to do that in December Daily, like a 3x4 pocket on top of a photo or something like that. But I love this whole clear pocket to add in a little bit of extra things to hold. I wound up going with some puffy stickers, since those were smaller and more of the colors that I needed, and I believe those were from the XO story kit, so those actually worked out a lot better. So just digging through my supplies and using them up as best as I can, right? One project at a time, friends. Okay, so the last project is going to be another one of my daughter from a long time ago, when we were in Santa Cruz. Added one last pink heart to this project, and now I can call it done. I love it. Okay, so this is a photo of my daughter in 2018, and I love this photo. It's one of my all-time favorite photos of her, and it really captures her strong spirit and just everything strong about her. And part of my series for scrapbooking with friends was to scraplift a friend named Tay, and I'll link her Instagram. And so I got this design from her. She had a great photo of her daughter on the right-hand side, and then some pocket cards formations on the left-hand side. So that's what I decided to go with. I took some cards from the digital kit, and I just digitally cut out the Be Strong, Powerful, Be Fearless, and I'm going to add those to the photo as well. I also have a ton of different embellishments that I pulled out of my stash because I'm not sure how I want to decorate it. I had these chipboards, the yellow one and the red one, but I felt like it was too much of Allie's handwriting, but even more so, I really wanted to have the emphasis on that 3x4 card. So whatever I added needed to be subtle and not take away from the phrases on the photo or the I am strong and brave and repeat. And I also have a 4x6 card that I made with the striped paper that talks all about how I want my daughter to be strong and continue to be strong. And I just love how this photo really captures her and her entire spirit, and she is still that way to this day. I have a large yellow heart that I cut out with the cameo, and I decided to just, like I said, go very simple, and I have the felt circles. I'm just going to use an outline one on the left-hand side and then a solid one that's smaller on the right-hand side. And I'll just add double-sided adhesive tape. I probably should get some liquid glue. I think maybe that would have worked better, but hopefully this will stay, at least for now. So I just layer that on, and then now I'm going to add some double-sided tape to this heart. And then on the inside of the big yellow hearts on the left-hand side, I'm just going to do one heart, and that is pretty much it. And it was very simple and quick to come together, but again, totally embracing the large photos. So I think every single one of these projects had large photos, but they are really important stories that I'm so glad that I now have documented. And I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing all of these projects come together. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. Have a wonderful day. Bye.